Welcome to Greenball. I'm Marie Crowe. In this first episode of 2023, we crossed to Isobel Joyce in South Africa to discuss the Under-19s World Cup and the upcoming Women's T20 World Cup. We then chat to Josh Little about international cricket and the IPL. And we have a new segment to enjoy, Answer Me this week featuring Robyn Lewis. Now on with the show. Now I am delighted to say that Izzy Joyce joins us all the way from South Africa. Izzy, it's absolutely freezing here, but you look like you're enjoying the sunshine.
Enjoying is one word. I think dealing with is the reality. It's extremely hot over here, but I won't complain when I know what it's like over there.
Yeah, it's pretty cold, all right, but we're soldiering on. Look, we're going to go through a few things today, but I think we probably need to start with the news of Amy Hunter and her injury and the fact that she's had to withdraw from the squad. It feels like such a blow, not just from the team point of view, but just from even watching her.
Yeah, it's really disappointing for her. I'm sure she was really excited to be the senior player, the captain, and have all that pressure on her and see how she would go. So I'm really disappointed for her. And I do think it's probably had an effect on the mental side of the game for the rest of the squad as well. She is staying out here to help out, but she won't play any further part in this tournament. So really disappointing for her and for the team.
Aoife Fisher is going to fly out to replace her, and you know, we've spoken in the past about just even the opportunity for these girls to go and be part of an Ireland team on the international stage. There's going to be positives to take away from it, and Aoife getting an opportunity is definitely one of them.
Yeah, it's incredible, the facilities here, the opportunity to see how other teams go about things. Even if she doesn't play a game, I'm assuming she comes into the squad, she's not going to come straight into the team, but she does get that opportunity to even train in the heat here. The altitude has a big impact on the game here in Potchefstroom in particular. So those little bits and pieces, yeah, we've got to hang on to those. And I'm sure she'll be really excited to get on that plane.
Absolutely. And look, it hasn't been exactly what they wanted in terms of results. There have been some good performances, though. They came up short against the West Indies despite having a spirited comeback. And then a tough game against New Zealand followed as well.
Yeah, I kind of felt like they let one go against West Indies because, in fact, talking to them afterwards, they were happy with how it went. And in the commentary box, we felt like they could win it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, they don't quite have that confidence yet, and perhaps they need to back their skills a little bit more. It's understandable. It's very daunting coming out to an Under-19 World Cup. But, you know, they're going to be every 2 years. So, and we've got a young squad. So I hope that the players that are here that get to go to the next one will have more belief. And then today, maybe it was nerves. New Zealand were really, really good. And the news of Amy Hunter, you know, her being out for the tournament, maybe all came together and resulted in that performance today.
So you've been watching. What have you taken away from what you've seen so far?
What I've taken away is that we're not far off. You really tell in these tournaments who's going to step up. And it's been brilliant to see Freya Sargent and Amy Maguire in particular, the two young spinners, really be up there with the best spinners in the tournament. You know, they could make it into any team, so that's great. And, you know, Georgina Dempsey as well in the field. Abby Harrison, I think, has done really well coming in down the order, been quite inventive. All those kind of small things that I hope that the girls are picking on and drawing from going forward. Because obviously it's totally different to club cricket back home. You don't get the loose deliveries. You don't get the dropped catches on the other side. And they've had to deal with the disappointment as well of you know, poor performance today and dropping catches in the first game against West Indies. So learning to be resilient as well, I think, is going to be a really big stepping stone for them.
So look, you've got to see so much of it, and for those girls making mistakes, it's part and parcel of elite sports, but there are benefits to making the mistakes on maybe the smaller stage and opportunities and experiences that you wouldn't have had back in your day. It was just onto the big stage in the senior setup and that was it.
Absolutely. It's much tougher now. There's cameras everywhere and people are paying much more attention. So I was probably a little bit oblivious when I first came into the team, which, you know, I'm thankful for looking back. But you're right, there's not as much riding on it. I mean, when we were trying to qualify for World Cups, when I was at the back end of my career, literally everything rode on it, because if we didn't qualify, the funding went. So you really felt the pressure. So it's nice that there's a certain amount of pressure, but not that level on these girls while they're making their international debuts on the world stage.
So there's going to be another game now on Thursday against Indonesia. How do you think they're going to approach this one?
Well, it's going to be a nervous one because they know if they win, they go through, and if they lose, they're out. And they should win this game as well, which, sounds like it should be less pressure, but it's really more, especially in cricket, because you can just do one stupid thing and your day is over. So I hope that they go in with confidence, that they attack the game. They've really got nothing to lose, especially after the performance today. It can only get better, really. So yeah, I hope they just put it behind them and they go out with freedom and really express themselves.
There's so much to look forward to from the women's game, that point of view, and the Women's T20 World Cup in South Africa is coming up in just a few weeks. Ireland named a 15-strong squad last week for it, and interestingly, the average age is only 24.
That's quite old for that group, isn't it?
They're pushing on now.
Yeah. No, they're a young team, and so that hopefully there'll be plenty of World Cups in them. And this will be the first one for this kind of group going forward. Lots of retirements after the last World Cup, myself included. So it's really, we've been talking about the new guard for a few years, it feels like now, but this is the first real global tournament that they'll be at together. So I'm sure they're excited and nervous, and South Africa is an amazing place to play cricket, and particularly Cape Town, where they'll spend most of their time. So I'd say the families are all heading over as well, and a lovely holiday to watch their families. And I hope that it'll be a good showing, and that we get that first win at a World Cup, in a T20 World Cup.
So they're starting off their campaign against England on 13th of February, and they also face Pakistan, West Indies and India in a 5-team group. The top 2 teams in each of the 2 groups will advance to the semi-finals, and the final takes place at the end of February. So what are they going to be targeting in that group?
First game's against England, so I think that's a good one because you go out with no fear. You just go, you can really attack it. It's not a game they'll be targeting to win, if that makes sense. They'll be trying to get up and running. So it's good that it's come up first, because the next game is the really important one, Pakistan. They've beaten them in their T20 series recently, and they'll really be targeting that one, especially on neutral soil, I guess. They won that series 2-1 in Pakistan, which is amazing. So they'll feel like they've got a really good chance there. And then once they've played that game, I think they'll reassess and see where they need to go from there.
They're just getting more and more cricket at top level under their belts, it feels like.
Yeah, and really good competition as well, which wouldn't have been the case before. So I couldn't tell you what the starting 11 will be, especially with Amy Hunter. I doubt. I know she's hoping to play. And I think she will get back, but she won't have been training. So it'll be interesting to see what selection they go with at the top of the order.
So while you've been over in South Africa, the men have been playing against Zimbabwe, a bit of a mixed bag of results so far. So they lost their last game by 4 wickets to Zimbabwe, and the hosts then won the 3-match series 2-1. And it's a bit like the women's. There were positives, though, from the games.
Yeah, lots of positives. Ross Adair making a 50 stands out to me. They're having to play this series without some of their senior players. So, and I think that's going to be a theme going forward. It's really difficult for Andy Bell-Burney because your team is chopping and changing, and it challenges him as a captain, but in fact it exercises his skills as well. So I think that's actually a positive to take. Stephen Doheney also played his first games, and he'll be disappointed with how it went, but it's good to see him getting opportunities. But it'll be good to see, I think, the 3 big players coming back in for the ODI series. They'll be looking forward to seeing Lorcan Tucker coming back in after the World Cup he had, and Josh Little and Paul Sterling. So that'll really be the shot in the arm they need.
Okay, Isobel, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're busy. How are you getting on over there?
Great, being looked after really well. So and loving watching the Ireland girls go about their business and seeing their cricketing careers flourish.
You must be looking at them though, having coached so many of them, like almost with your coach's head on.
Yeah, really nervous. I'd say I'm more nervous for them than they are for themselves, and it's actually kind of difficult to commentate on because I'm jumping out of my seat, and when things don't go well, I'm really sorry for them. But their families are all here, so they've got really good support, and it's lovely to see how much fun that they're having as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Isabel, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Mary.
Now, I'm delighted to say that Josh Little joins me on the Zoom all the way from South Africa. So, look, first of all, Josh, look, how's life for you right now? You're on this amazing adventure and it's just begun.
Yeah, had a nice Christmas with family, and then stuck into a busy new year now. I'm going to be away for a while, but looking forward to getting stuck into it and meeting up with the Ireland guys in a couple of days.
And what's your schedule like just at the moment from a day-to-day basis?
So it's sort of just training, playing, flying, all mixed into one. So yeah, it's a couple of training days and then on a flight somewhere new. But yeah, no, it's been good and exciting to be part of a new competition.
It's supposed to make it sound glamorous. It doesn't sound glamorous at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. There's been a lot of moving around places and stuff, so you can't really settle into your new hotel and stuff like that. But yeah, trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
So, are you living the dream?
Am I living the dream? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty. Yeah, I mean, this is what I've wanted since I was a young guy. So to be able to do this and still represent my country at the same time is obviously a privilege and something I'm really enjoying.
So when you were young and you were looking at thinking about what your life could possibly be like, was this it? Like, was this what you always wanted to do? Did you have somebody in mind that you thought, I want to be like them, or what was it like for you when you were a kid?
Yeah, I think just growing up watching the guys like Kevy and all those guys on TV with the likes of Harry and stuff. He used to come over to my house all the time, and we used to stay up till all hours in the morning watching the guys in the World Cup, falling asleep on the sofa and sort of wishing, God, I want to do that one day. So to be able to realize that is something special, and yeah, it's been great.
When you hit the headlines there a few weeks ago to become the first Ireland player to be bought by the IPL auction while playing for Ireland, did you think that was going to happen? Was that something that was, I guess, on your mind for a while, or did it just come of late?
I guess with these sort of things, you never really know until it's done, because you don't really know what these guys are thinking. And I heard rumors from my agent and stuff like that. There was teams interested. But yeah, no, it was a pretty special day to get picked and one I'll remember forever. So yeah.
Were you feeling nervous beforehand? Like, what was the emotion like?
No, I wasn't so much nervous. I think I was ready for whatever was going to happen, and if it did happen, great. And if it didn't, I was still going to have a busy few months anyway. So when it did happen, obviously that was just the icing on the cake and a dream come true. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, and sort of pave the way for Irish cricket and show that it is possible to go to these sort of things and sort of open the door for young lads coming through and show them that yeah, I'm just a normal guy from Dublin and I'm able to do it. So there's no reason why they can't.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to look at it, and because you are paving the way now and breaking new ground and all that sort of stuff. And I guess it's kind of a thing that people will probably be talking about for years to come, and it's always going to be in association with you. But what was the process like for you? Like, how did it come about, and then what happens after?
In terms of the IPL?
Yeah.
So I think generally it's just I'm in touch with my agent a good bit, and he's sort of saying, look, this team's interested, team's not interested, blah blah blah, all that sort of thing. But ultimately, you don't know until the day. I turned my TV on and I was watching it on some stream that was barely even working on YouTube. With my family, I was sitting there for about 4 hours watching all the guys text me saying best of luck, and then my name came up, and yeah, it just happened from there. So yeah, it was nice to be there with family and stuff like that.
I'm picturing now, I don't know, did you see when they announced the Brazil World Cup team for going to the World Cup, Neymar, with all the family around him and the delight and all that. That's really cool. So then just in terms of Ireland and look, it's going to be different now, and it's new ground for them as well. Like, what was that conversation like, and was it something that you were worried about?
No, I think Ireland are generally pretty good with working with me on these sort of things. I always say Ireland does come first, so whenever they do need me, leaving these things is something I just have to get used to. I'm leaving to go to Zimbabwe in a couple of days to meet up with the guys, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, I think during the IPL I'm going to come home because we've got series against Bangladesh. So more than happy to do that. We've got points at stake, so if we win those games, I think we can qualify. So yeah, stuff like that's really important to communicate with, and yeah, just have a nice balance, I guess.
You're going to be so busy though. Is that what you like? Do you thrive in that kind of environment?
Yeah, look, this sort of January through to May is probably going to be the toughest few months of my cricketing life. I've never been away from home for potentially 4 months without actually getting to go home. But we're hopping around place to place and plenty of new faces, and obviously meeting up with the Ireland guys too. So as long as I keep myself busy, and yeah, I'll be able to get through it. And yeah.
I always think anyone that, well, you guys, when you coped with COVID and the quarantine and all that and the things that you did, you could probably cope with anything.
100%. I'm completely introverted now. I love sitting in my room and doing nothing, so I'm well used to it now.
Your status though as a sports person has changed now. Do you feel that there's pressure with that and expectation now that you've kind of, I guess you're going to be operating at a different level now?
God, no, I don't think so. I don't really look at it that way. I'm just going to go about my business as best as I can. I'm generally a pretty relaxed kind of guy in that sense. So, yeah, whatever comes, and people can say what they want to say, I guess. But I'm just going to keep going about my business.
Because you're probably going to become somebody that's a lot more known now as well. Like you're going to be a big star.
Yeah, literally just the funniest thing just happened there about 5 minutes ago. I was walking back up to my room and I was just walking in this little sort of street, and I was asking this guy for the toilet, and it was a phone shop, and he said, "Oh, Josh Little." And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, come in," and he just gave me a phone cover for free. So little things like that is sort of just bizarre and weird, but yeah, it is what it is.
That's like, I mean, that's going to be your life now. When you're in certain places anyway, like even just kind of coping with all that attention that's going to come your way. Like, do you think about that, or are you just kind of you seem anyway, this laid back kind of guy, whatever comes your way is fine, but things are going to change a little bit though.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really, yeah, I just think it's, yeah, I don't really know. It's just one of those things that comes with it. I don't really, I'm not one who's like, oh, I really want people to come up to me, and that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. I don't think that will happen unless I'm maybe in India or something like that. But yeah, no, it's still pretty relaxed.
I guess you probably won't know until you're in it, and it starts
100%.
And
Exactly.
To change more and more. And just in terms of, look, the last year, and we talk about timing and the importance of it, and for you, your form seemed to really come at the right time, and I talk about elevating to a different level. For the second part of the year, you were just operating on a different level. It seemed. How did that happen?
Yeah, it was funny because the first part of the year I was feeling absolutely terrible. I was in a pretty bad place. I played 3 ODIs against New Zealand and didn't even know where the ball was going. I was absolutely nowhere, and then all of a sudden it just changed and things started going your way. So I guess it's just one of those things that goes to show, if you just stick to your guns and stick to your process, it'll eventually come good, and you just need to keep putting your head down, putting the hard work in, and it will come good eventually. And then vice versa as well. When it is going your way, you need to be able to cope with when it isn't going to go well, because there will be a stage now where I'm sure things will go backwards and I won't be all guns blazing. So just being able to deal with those things is quite important, and yeah, relishing it when it does go well.
How much of a role did the Ireland cricket coaching setup play in what you've been able to learn about yourself and your game?
Yeah, 100%. Like, although we're not blessed with facilities and stuff like that, we've got great guys who are really keen to help us improve. And even if it's just helping on little 1%ers that could change our game, all those things go a very long way. And yeah, no doubt they've helped massively in what I've achieved in the last year.
So tell me about the year gone by. It was a really good year for Ireland cricket. It was needed after 2021, but you guys certainly delivered what needed to be delivered. What for you was the highlight? Because there's so many big moments for you.
I think it's pretty easy. I think beating England in the World Cup in Melbourne, that was very, very special, and a day I'll never forget. Having family there and other people's families and friends. Although it was rainy and there wasn't that many people there, a very special day to beat the team who went on and win the whole competition, and sort of, I guess, potentially reopen the door for people who support Irish cricket or now support Irish cricket. And, we sort of showed them that we are actually a good side and we will be beating good teams more consistently.
It feels like you're a side now that people really want to watch.
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I said, like when you beat teams like that and you put performances in like that, you can't help but want to watch and support the team. So we just need to keep going the way we're going, and yeah.
What about your hat-trick against New Zealand? Another big moment.
Yeah, it was a funny one because he was sort of at the back end of the game. It wasn't first three balls of the game, but it sort of happened so fast. I remember going back to the changing room and thinking I can't even remember who I got out in those three balls, but obviously to do it then was pretty special and a nice stat, I guess, to have.
From just reading about you and watching and learning about you over the last while, it does really feel like you're a little bit different to lots of other sports people. You're so young, you seem so comfortable already in what you're doing, and you know what you're about. And one of the things that really struck me about you was that when it comes to how you prepare, you're so confident in your own game that you don't kind of obsess with the opposition as much maybe as other people might. Where did that kind of self-confidence and I guess being relaxed as well, where did it come from?
I don't know, it's a funny one. I think, I've been playing since I was 16 for Ireland, sort of on and off. So I have actually been around a little bit longer than people may think. But yeah, no, just generally, I just prefer to take the relaxed approach instead of reading into it too much. I feel, sometimes you can read into it too much and then you rock up and you're nervous because you don't feel fully prepared. So I just like to go on instinct and sort of just back that I'm good enough. And if I'm not, well, then I'll go and work on what I'm not good enough at. I just like to keep it simple, really. It's not a self-confidence thing. It's just I like to be relaxed when I'm playing.
That's like in a way, that's a really simple way of looking at it as well, which is probably reflective of the type of person that you are. But like, there's people that work really hard to try and keep things simple because it's not an easy thing to do, especially in game.
Definitely, yeah. And there's times where I get flustered too, but it's I guess it's the people who are able to stay relaxed and composed for longest are going to come out on top compared to the guy who potentially has all these voices in his head thinking, oh no, what's going to happen here, sort of thing. So that's just the way I look at
it. So tell me about 2023. We're here now. It's going to be a huge year. I'm sure you've probably already marked out things that are going to be coming up for you. What are you looking forward to most?
I think the IPL is what I'm looking forward to most. I think it's obviously the biggest competition in the world to be a part of, and heard so much good things about it. And playing with the team who won the competition last year is pretty special and something I want to get involved in and see what it's all about and improve my game and bring it back to the Irish setup and hopefully help there.
Playing with the team that is so successful, like, how difficult is it going to be, and then how beneficial is it going to be to you as well?
Yeah, exactly. It comes with its pros and cons. I mean, with the team that's so good, I mightn't even play. So, but it's just one of those things that get involved, and even if I'm just training, learning from the best and stuff like that, it'll 100% make me a better cricketer. And like I said, bring it back to Ireland. And if I can help 1% or play 1% better, well, then that's going to be helpful.
So for somebody like you who does like to keep things quite simple and you are quite relaxed, how do you cope with not playing?
Yeah, actually, I had a game last night I wasn't picked for. I was pretty devastated. It's never nice when you're not playing, but you just need to sort of, I was thinking next time I get my chance, I'm going to really make sure I show them that I should have been playing. That's the way I think of it. If you get too down in the dumps, well then, it'll rub off and people will think, oh, why is this guy just moping around? I think when you aren't playing, you need to still show that you're there for everyone and you're helping out and all that sort of stuff. But just need to take my chance when it comes, I guess.
So we're sitting here in 12 months' time having this kind of a conversation again. What will you have hoped to have achieved in the 12 months?
Oh, wow, that's a very tricky question. I don't ever look that far ahead, to be honest. But yeah, just I just want to grow more as a cricketer and new things, and just make sure I'm still enjoying my cricket in 12 months' time. That's what I'm going to say. I don't like setting too many targets and goals and stuff like that. I like to just sort of go with the flow.
I'm not surprised to hear that, Josh. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're so busy and you have so much going on, but I really appreciate it. And I know that everybody here in Ireland is so excited about what's coming down the track for you. And we're all looking forward to just following your career and see how things go from now.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Now, I'm delighted to say that we have a new segment on the Green Ball podcast, and it is called Getting to Know Me. And our first guest is Robyn Lewis, all the way from South Africa at the Under-19 Women's World Cup. Robyn, first and foremost, how are you getting on over there?
Really well, thank you. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks very much for joining us. So what's it like being a coach with the Under-19 women's team? How busy are you and how full on is it?
Yeah, it's pretty full on at the moment. It's the first ever Under-19s Women's World Cup, so really exciting times for both the girls and myself as a new coach. Really busy every day. I think this has been our first day off since we arrived on the 1st, so we have a nice full day off for the girls before their second warm-up game tomorrow. So it's been very full on, but enjoyable.
How are you finding the whole experience of transitioning to a coach?
Yeah, it's one that I kind of fell into by accident, I suppose. I think over kind of COVID, I took over the role of what our pro might have been. Our pro might have done over in the club in YM, and I just kind of fell into that role and ended up kind of running our youth section. And then over the last few years, I've just continued to enjoy it and been asked to do one thing after the next. But no, I really enjoy it. I love giving my time to others and trying to make people better.
It must be brilliant just to even have that pathway, Robyn, as well, just to be able to see the opportunities there that are for women's coaches now, not just in cricket, but we're seeing it now in every sport.
Yeah, it's really exciting time for women. I think it hasn't been obviously a route that a lot of women have taken in the past, but it's definitely, you can see it in different teams over the last number of years, and women come into those roles. So it's exciting for sure.
Right, so we have a set number of questions that we're going to get through as we get to know our guests. So I'm going to start with what you enjoy most about cricket.
What do I enjoy most? I'd probably say the friendships that I've made out of playing cricket, both from a young age and up through playing for provinces and playing, and then eventually for my country. I think I've made a number of great friends, and also the ability to travel around the world. Obviously, I wouldn't be in South Africa right now if it wasn't for the opportunities the cricket has given me. So, yeah, I'd say friends and travel.
In South Africa, sunning yourself, I might add, because we're here freezing in Ireland, and you're looking like you're having a lovely time there, nice and tanned.
Yeah.
There's so many perks. So growing up then, who was your cricket hero?
Who was my cricket hero? I'd say on the Irish team, someone that I would have looked up to growing up would have been Claire Shillington, who eventually was my coach from a young age, from about 12 up until 16, 17 in YM, and I would have always looked up to her. Currently, I'd say probably Alyssa Healy would probably be someone that I'd look up to. She's just a fantastic leader and a great batswoman.
What so far has been your personal cricket highlight?
My playing, I would say, winning the World Cup qualifiers in Thailand. We beat Bangladesh in a really close game. It was a fantastic team to be a part of. So I'd say playing. Coaching, I'd say being here at the first ever Under-19s Women's World Cup. It's an amazing opportunity, and I'm just trying to take in every single bit of it.
Robyn, you're still so young, and like you're a coach now. You're at a World Cup. It's phenomenal. Do you miss the playing side of the game?
I definitely look on and I'm like, oh, I'd love to be out there. I'd love to be a part of that. I wouldn't say it'd be something that I want to go back to. I definitely enjoy the coaching side of things a lot more at the moment.
Yeah.
Something for the girls, exciting for the girls.
Look, it is great though, because to even be able to do that, to be able to make the decision that it's what you want to do, and for there to be opportunities there, it's fantastic, because not everybody, like, you play for your country, which is absolutely amazing, but not everybody gets to have those careers that you had, and maybe coaching is what's right for them, and the fact now that you can actually be in a position and decide that just shows how far the women's game is coming as well, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I don't necessarily think you have to be, a top class player to be a good coach, and that is the beauty of it, I suppose. It is an art in itself, as Kamal Merchant would have been my coach growing up. He would have all said to me. So, yeah, it's exciting, and it's something I've really enjoyed doing after playing.
So what do you do to unwind then away from the game?
What do I do to unwind? A lot of things. I love being active. I work as a physio in a sports surgery clinic, so that would take up a lot of my time outside of cricket. But yeah, I love staying active, going for food, going for coffees, just staying social. I'm a very social person, so meeting up with my friends, all of that. Yeah.
So what's the best piece of cricket advice that you've received so far?
I would probably say, get comfortable with making mistakes. I think it's a sport that you're going to make many mistakes, but as soon as you get comfortable with making them, it gets a lot easier. And always remember, it's only a game of cricket at the end of the day, and just to enjoy it as much as you can.
Yep, very good advice. And now, speaking of enjoyment, what does the perfect day look like for you?
What does the perfect day look like for me? I'd say getting up early. It would be a summer's day. The sun would be shining. Going for coffee, meeting up with friends. And I suppose now that we're here, the theme of the tournament, on the 15th, I'd love to beat the West Indies in the first group game. That would be ideally my perfect day.
Yeah, that sounds like a good day. All right, lots of people would agree with you on that one. When you look at your career, who had the biggest impact on it?
I'd definitely say my coach from a very young age would be Kamal Merchant in the club, both from a playing point of view and now a coaching point of view. He coached me from, I'd say when I was 7 or 8, started throwing balls at me down in YM and did so the whole way through. The whole way through my career, all the way until I played for my country, and then now kind of transitioning into that coaching role. He's sort of been a mentor for me in YM, as a coach as well. So he's had a massive impact, and I owe a lot to him.
So we have some quick fire questions to finish now, Robyn. Mullets, nifty or naff?
Naff, I would say.
I disagree with you now. I'm a big fan of the mullets. Sledging, part of it or park it?
Part of it.
Ooh. Song that you've played most in the past month?
I would say a lot of the girls here would say Beyonce, Cuff It. I think I've played it every single time when I've been on the speaker.
So that's your tune. Robyn, thank you so much for joining us. An absolute pleasure. Enjoy the next few weeks, and look forward to following how you're getting on, and also how the women's under-19s team do as well. So much to look forward to.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening, and join us again in the next show to discuss the Women's T20 World Cup build-up and Ireland men's return to Test cricket. Don't forget to subscribe to the show, and also rate and leave a review, as it really helps other fans find us. And if you have any questions, you can email us at thegreenballshow@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to find an answer. Farewell for now.